Imagine holding in your hand a piece of history that is not just metal, but a silent witness to the story of a nation, a coin that carries with it the culture, the economy, and the artistry of an entire era. And today, we will unlock the secrets of the Australian $1 coin from the year 1994, a coin that at first glance may look ordinary, but when you take the time to study its history, you discover layers of meaning and significance that turn it into a true treasure for collectors and historians alike. To understand the 1994 Australian $1 coin, we first need to step back and revisit the origins of the $1 coin itself, because every year of mintage is not an isolated event, but part of a continuing narrative. The $1 coin was first introduced in 1984, replacing the $1 banknote, which had become impractical due to its shorter lifespan in circulation. The decision to create a coin was based on durability, cost efficiency, and also the desire to introduce a new design that would showcase Australian heritage. The reverse design created by Stuart Devlin, the official goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen, was iconic, depicting 5 kangaroos, a design that became synonymous with the Australian dollar and an enduring national symbol. By 1994, the $1 coin had already celebrated a decade of circulation, and during that time it had seen various commemorative issues, special mintings, and a growing role as one of the most used denominations in everyday transactions. The 1994 issue continued the standard kangaroo design in circulation coins, but that year also carried its own historical significance in the broader timeline of Australian coinage, because this was the era when the Royal Australian Mint was actively producing coins not only for everyday commerce, but also for collectors both domestically and internationally. The obverse of the 1994 $1 coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II as designed by Raphael Makhlouf. Introduced in 1985 and used until 1998, the Makhlouf effigy is notable for its regal styling. The Queen wearing the royal diadem and draped in royal robes with a more classical and dignified presence compared to earlier portraits, this effigy itself marks the coin historically because it ties the 1994 issue to a specific era in the representation of the monarchy. Now, if we dive into the minting details, the 1994 $1 coin was struck in standard circulation quality from aluminum bronze, composed of 92% copper, 6% aluminum, and 2% nickel, measuring 25 millimeters in diameter and weighing 9 grams. This composition and size had been consistent since the introduction of the $1 coin in 1984, giving it both a distinctive golden appearance and long-lasting resilience in circulation. The Royal Australian Mint in Canberra was the primary producer of these coins, and in 1994, millions of pieces were issued into everyday circulation, making it one of the more common dates in terms of mintage. But what collectors know is that even common dates can hide rare varieties, errors, or uncirculated gems that command significant value. The broader economic and cultural context of 1994 is also important to note, because coins do not exist in isolation. They are issued during specific social and financial climates. In 1994, Australia was experiencing significant economic restructuring, global trade connections were strengthening, and the Australian dollar itself as a currency was continuing to mature in international markets. Coins like the $1 piece were everyday tools for commerce, from small purchases to vending machines, and their widespread circulation made them an inseparable part of daily life for Australians. Collectors pay close attention to mint set issues and proof coins from 1994, which were specially struck for numismatists. Proof versions feature mirror-like fields and frosted devices struck with extra care to highlight the artistry of the kangaroo design. Mint sets, on the other hand, were aimed at families, collectors, and those wanting to preserve an example of each denomination in pristine condition. The 1994 proof and mint sets are now collectible items in their own right, valued depending on their condition, packaging, and completeness. While the standard kangaroo reverse dominated 1994, there were also commemorative issues in the broader $1 coin series around this era. In particular, the Royal Australian Mint had begun releasing special $1 coins to celebrate events and anniversaries. Collectors often connect the 1994 issue to this wave of growing numismatic interest in the $1 denomination, which eventually produced famous coins. Like the 1995 United Nations coin and the 1996 Sir Henry Parkes commemorative understanding, the 1994 issue gives us a snapshot right in the middle of this transformation where the $1 coin was evolving from a purely transactional medium to a cultural and historical canvas. Numismatic researchers also point to die varieties, minor errors, and striking differences that can elevate the 1994 $1 coin beyond face value. Coins with off-center strikes, die cracks, double strikes, or unusual minting flaws can sometimes be worth many multiples of their nominal value because they represent a rare anomaly in the minting process. Even uncirculated rolls of 1994 $1 coins preserved by collectors or investors in original packaging can carry premiums today. From a global perspective, the Australian $1 coin also plays a role in international numismatics because of its distinctive design and unique color. Many overseas collectors seek Australian coins as part of world coin collections, and the 1994 issue is often a date that completes series collections, especially for those aiming to own one coin from every year of issue. Since 1984, the durability of aluminum bronze means that many coins from 1994 still circulate today with heavy wear, showing their long service in commerce, while high-grade examples remain treasured in coin cabinets. As we journey deeper into the story of the 1994 $1 coin, we discover it is not only about metal and design, but also about what it represents in terms of national identity, resilience, and continuity. It tells the story of how Australia presented itself to its people and the world through symbols like the kangaroo and the monarch. It embodies the craftsmanship of the Royal Australian Mint and the vision of designers like Stuart Devlin and Raphael Makhlouf, and it connects us to the everyday lives of Australians in the mid-1990s who used these coins without realizing that decades later collectors would cherish them as history in their pockets. So when you hold a 1994 Australian $1 coin, you are holding more than just change. You are holding a story that stretches from the halls of the Mint to the wallets of millions, from the artistry of designers to the hands of ordinary people, from the global numismatic community to the intimate collection of a single enthusiast. It is a reminder that even the most common coin has a tale worth telling, a legacy worth preserving, and a value that goes far beyond its face, and that is why the 1994 $1 coin continues to capture the imagination of collectors, historians, and anyone who believes that money can be more than currency. It can be history, heritage, and identity cast in metal for generations to come. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that is more than just a piece of metal, a coin that tells the story of a nation, its culture, its economy, and its people. The Australian $1 coin of 2007 may at first glance appear to be just another circulating coin used in daily transactions, but when you look deeper, you realize that this small golden disc carries layers of meaning, design history, rarity, minting details, and the fascinating context of the time in which it was produced. And this is exactly why collectors, historians, and everyday Australians see it as more than spare change. This coin is a chapter in the ongoing narrative of Australia's numismatic legacy, and today we are going to take a deep journey into its world, from the roots of the $1 coin itself to the specific story of the 2007 issue. To understand the 2007 Australian $1 coin, we must first step back to the origins of the $1 denomination in Australia. The transition from paper notes to coins was not simply a matter of practicality. It was the reflection of a government decision to improve durability and efficiency. The $1 banknote had been in circulation for years, But by the early 1980s, it had become clear that notes wore out too quickly and had to be replaced far too often. So in 1984, the Australian Mint introduced the $1 coin, replacing the note with a design by Stuart Devlin, a designer and metalworker whose contribution to Australian coinage is legendary. The reverse of the coin depicted a group of kangaroos leaping together, symbolizing the most iconic animal of Australia, and quickly became one of the most recognized designs in the nation. By the time we arrive at 2007, the coin had already gone through more than 2 decades of circulation, but every year brings subtle shifts in production quantities, mint marks, commemorative releases, and historical context. The 2007 $1 coin was struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra and, like other years, it was produced both for circulation and for collectors. But what makes 2007 stand out is the variety of commemorative issues released alongside the standard kangaroo design that year. Australia celebrated events' national milestones, and even specific themes with special $1 coins. The regular 2007 circulation. $1 coin retained the Stuart Devlin kangaroo design with Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait had been in use since 1999 and remained until 2019. It was known for its more realistic representation of the Queen compared to earlier portraits. This meant that anyone handling a 2007 $1 coin in daily life saw the most current official likeness of the monarch, combined with the enduring kangaroo symbol on the reverse. But 2007 was also a particularly notable year for collector coins. Among these were commemorative releases, such as the 2007 Year of the Surf Lifesaver $1 coin, which honored the centenary of surf lifesaving in Australia. The design showed a lifesaver in action, a tribute to an Australian institution that had saved countless lives on the nation's beaches. Another significant issue was the 2007 Ashes $1 coin celebrating Australia's cricketing rivalry with England. This coin stirred enthusiasm not only among coin collectors, but also cricket fans across the world, as the sport has a deep connection to national pride in both countries. There were also limited edition issues minted for collectors, including proof sets, uncirculated sets, and limited runs with polished or special finishes. These collector pieces often sold out quickly and today command higher prices in the secondary market when we analyze the mintage figures. For 2007, we find that tens of millions of standard circulation coins were produced, but the commemorative and special issues had much smaller mintages, which enhances their value and appeal among numismatists. Looking deeper into the production techniques, the Royal Australian Mint in 2007 was already using highly advanced minting technologies, ensuring sharp, detailed strikes and consistent quality. The use of cupro, nickel, and aluminum bronze alloys gave the coins their distinctive golden appearance, which set the $1 coin apart from other denominations at the time. The attention to detail in both the obverse and reverse design made these coins not just functional currency, but small pieces of art. To create a full picture, we must also consider the broader economic and social context of 2007 in Australia. The nation's economy was strong, driven by mining exports, and a growing middle-class inflation remained moderate, and the $1 coin remained a vital part of every day. Commerce, vending machines, parking meters, public transport, and shops all relied on it as one of the most commonly used denominations yet for collectors. 2007 offered a chance to add coins with cultural and historical resonance to their collections, coins that told stories beyond just financial value. The 2007 $1 coin also represents the ongoing evolution of Australian coinage in its balance between standard circulation needs and the desire to celebrate milestones through commemorative issues. This dual nature is one of the reasons why Australian coins remain such a rich field for collectors, unlike some countries where coins rarely change. Australia has embraced the use of coinage to mark historical anniversaries, cultural icons, and achievements as time passes. The significance of the 2007 $1 coin continues to grow for everyday Australians. It was change handed over at the supermarket or tucked away in a wallet, but for collectors and historians, it is a coin that speaks of a vibrant national identity. It reminds us of the enduring imagery of kangaroos leaping together of the Queen's portrait, by rank broadly of lifesavers and cricketers, and the stories of a nation in motion. When you hold a 2007 $1 coin, you are not simply holding currency. You are holding a piece of history, a work of art and a cultural artifact that connects the past to the present and into the future. Its value in commerce may be fixed at $1, but its value in meaning, history, and collectability is far greater, and that is what makes this coin so fascinating and deserving of a deep dive. If expanded further with details on minting processes, mintage figures, circulation data, international collector demand, and stories from Australians who saved these coins, the history of the 2007 $1 coin easily stretches into hours of exploration. It becomes a journey not just about a coin, but about what it represents, a tangible symbol of a nation's story captured forever in metal. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that is not only a piece of money, but also a miniature time capsule of a nation's history, culture, and craftsmanship. The Australian $1 coin from 2002 is one of those treasures, and it tells a story that goes far beyond its face value. It speaks of a country that embraced its heritage, honored its milestones, and projected its identity to the world in the form of small yet powerful symbols. And when you dive into the history of this coin, you find yourself entering a world where economics, artistry, politics, and tradition all converge to produce something far more significant than a simple piece of metal. The 2002 Australian $1 coin carries with it a timeline of both the broader history of the Australian currency system and the specific commemorations that year, which makes it a perfect lens through which to explore the evolution of modern coinage in Australia and to understand why this particular coin holds a special place in the minds of collectors, historians, and everyday citizens alike. The story of the $1 coin itself begins in 1984, when the coin was first introduced to replace the $1 note. The note had been in circulation since the decimalisation of Australia's currency in 1966. But due to high usage and the short lifespan of paper notes, the Reserve Bank and the Royal Australian Mint sought a more durable and cost-effective alternative. Thus, the $1 coin was born, made of an alloy called aluminum bronze, giving it its distinctive golden color. The coin quickly became a staple of everyday transactions, but what truly sets the coin apart is not just its practical use, but its artistic and commemorative designs, which change across years to mark significant events and anniversaries. By 2002, the $1 coin had already been a familiar part of Australian life for nearly 2 decades, and during that time, the Royal Australian Mint had built a tradition of releasing commemorative designs on the $1 coin to honor Australia's culture, wildlife, and history. The year 2002 was particularly notable as it marked the International Year of the Outback, and the coin released that year reflected this important theme. It was more than just a monetary instrument. It was a statement of identity, celebrating the vast landscapes, the rugged resilience, and the cultural significance of the Australian outback. The design featured striking imagery that evoked the harsh yet beautiful environment that is central to Australia's national story. The outback itself is not merely a geographic feature. It is an idea, a symbol of endurance, independence, and the spirit of exploration. For centuries, the outback has shaped the way Australians view themselves and how they are viewed abroad. The 2002 coin captured this essence through carefully chosen imagery that resonated with both urban Australians and those living in rural areas. The coin became a traveling ambassador in the pockets of millions, silently communicating a piece of the Australian soul in every exchange and transaction. From a numismatic perspective, the 2002 $1 coin is a fascinating object because it stands at the crossroads of mass circulation and collectability. Unlike limited proof issues or rare misstrikes, this coin was minted in large quantities, ensuring it was accessible to the public. Yet the special theme made it instantly attractive to collectors who saw it as a unique addition to their collections. Over time, its significance has only grown because it represents not just money, but a year when Australia paused to reflect on its environment and its relationship with the land. The coin's reverse design, the side opposite the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which is featured on the obverse as with all Australian coins since 1953, was created by an artist who sought to distill the majesty of the outback into a compact and recognizable form. This process involved not only artistic skill, but also technical expertise, because coin design must balance aesthetics with practical concerns such as durability, recognizability, and the ability to be mass-produced through minting dyes. The finished product was therefore a blend of art and engineering, a piece of national pride struck in golden bronze. At this point, it is essential to place the 2002 coin within the broader historical framework of Australian coinage. The move from the British pound system to the decimal system in 1966 was itself a revolutionary step that sought to modernize the economy and make transactions simpler. The introduction of coins such as the $1 in 1984 built upon this legacy, continuing the evolution of Australian money from colonial imitations of British designs to distinctly Australian themes featuring native animals, indigenous culture, and national achievements by 2002. This journey had matured to the point where coins like the $1 became not just functional, but cultural touchstones, reminding Australians of who they were and where they came from. Collectors often examine not just the design but the minting process itself, and the 2002 $1 coin is no exception. Struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, it went through a series of precise steps, beginning with the preparation of blanks, the circular discs of aluminum bronze that would become coins. These blanks were carefully weighed and polished before being struck by high-pressure dies engraved with the obverse and reverse designs. The resulting coins were then inspected, packaged, and released into circulation, each one carrying with it the weight not just of metal, but of meaning. The quality of the strike, the sharpness of the design, and the overall condition of the coin became factors that numismatists consider when grading and valuing pieces from this mintage. Beyond the technical and artistic dimensions, the 2002 $1 coin also intersects with the socio-economic realities of its time. The early 2000s were a period of relative prosperity for Australia, fueled by a growing economy, increasing global trade, and a sense of national pride. Events such as the Sydney Olympics in 2000 had placed Australia firmly on the world stage, and the commemoration of the Outback in 2002 built on this momentum by reminding the world of Australia's unique landscapes and character. In this sense, the coin was both a celebration and a soft power instrument conveying national identity through the humble medium of currency. The value of the 2002 $1 coin today depends on several factors. While millions were minted, making it common in circulation, pristine uncirculated examples, especially those in mint sets or proof issues, hold higher numismatic value. Collectors are drawn to the coin not only for its aesthetic and historical importance, but also for the stories it carries. The International Year of the Outback is now a piece of history, and the coin serves as a tangible reminder of that moment in time. When you think about it, a coin like the Australian $1 from 2002 is more than metal, more than money, and more than design. It is a slice of national identity condensed into a circular form. It represents the land, the people, and the spirit of a nation. And in telling its story, we uncover layers of history, economics, art, and culture that together form a narrative worthy of hours of exploration. If you were to follow this narrative in depth, you could trace the origins of Australian Coinage back to the early days of colonization, when British coins and foreign currencies circulated side by side until the establishment of the first official Australian coins in 1910, you could then follow the shift to decimalisation in 1966, and the subsequent decades of innovation at the Royal Australian Mint, culminating in the commemorative practices of the late 20th and early 21st centuries, and finally arriving at the year 2002 when the outback was chosen as a symbol, worthy of national recognition through the coin in your hand. This story is not one that ends quickly, because each facet of the 2002 $1 coin, whether its design, its minting, its circulation, or its legacy, opens the door to broader discussions about the role of money in society, the relationship between art and utility, and the way nations use currency as a mirror of themselves. The deeper you go, the more you realize that this coin is not just a collectible or a curiosity, but a key to unlocking an entire chapter of Australian history, one that is still alive today, in the coins we carry, spend, and treasure. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that is not just a piece of metal, but a chapter of a nation's history, a symbol of art, economy, culture, and identity. The Australian $1 coin of 1999 is more than currency. It is a story forged in metal, a piece that reflects the nation's journey, its traditions, and its ever-evolving values. Today we are going to explore in depth the professional and historical background of this fascinating coin and take you through a narrative so rich that, by the end, you will have seen how a simple $1 coin carries the weight of decades of heritage and innovation. The Australian $1 coin was first introduced in 1984, replacing the $1 note, and since then it has become one of the most widely used coins in the country. The coin, struck in aluminum bronze, carries a warm golden hue that distinguishes it easily from other denominations, and its size and weight make it a solid and recognizable piece in the hands of Australians. By 1999, the coin had already established itself as a mainstay in everyday commerce, but that particular year also carried significance because of the economic and cultural setting of Australia as the nation approached the new millennium. On the obverse of the 1999 Australian $1 coin, you will find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This was not the first time her portrait appeared on Australian currency, but it was a newer and more realistic design. Introduced in 1999, making this year significant, because it marked the first circulation coins to bear Broadley's updated portrait. The Queen faces to the right, wearing the royal diadem, and the detail captures a lifelike representation that is both respectful and modern. At the same time, Rank Broadley's effigy was seen as a departure from earlier idealized portraits because it focused on realism and mature dignity, which suited the monarch's role at the threshold of the 21st century. The inscription, Elizabeth II Australia 1999, surrounds the portrait, anchoring it firmly to the nation's identity. The reverse side of the coin carries the now iconic design by Stuart Devlin, known as the Mob of Kangaroos. 5 kangaroos are depicted, bounding in different directions, a symbol of Australia's unique wildlife energy and independence. The kangaroo has long been an emblem of Australia, appearing on its coat of arms, stamps, and currency, but on the $1 coin, it took on a lively and dynamic form. Devlin, who was appointed goldsmith and jeweler to Queen Elizabeth II, was famous for his intricate and imaginative designs, and the mob of kangaroos became one of the most recognizable motifs in modern coinage. This design was not tied to any single commemorative event, but it symbolized the everyday strength of the Australian people and their land. Now, the 1999 $1 coin holds importance, not only in its design, but also in its context. Australia in the late 1990s was experiencing economic changes. Globalization was transforming trade, and the country was moving toward the year 2000 with optimism and challenges. Alike, coins minted in this period became silent witnesses of these transformations. Millions of these coins were struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. the official minting institution established in 1965 to produce Australian currency with precision and artistry. The Royal Australian Mint ensured that the 1999 coins carried the highest quality standards, and for collectors this year is often noted as an interesting turning point because of the introduction of Broadley's portrait variations exist in minting quality, such as proof coins struck for collectors and circulation strikes. For everyday use, and numismatists value these differences, since proof coins are made with polished dies and blanks, giving them a mirror-like surface and exceptional clarity compared to the standard issues. The history of the $1 coin also connects deeply to the cultural heritage of Australia. Coins are not just instruments of commerce, but also storytellers. Every coin issued becomes a snapshot of its time. The 1999 $1 coin represents the country as it stood at the edge of a millennium, paying homage to its monarchy through the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II and to its land and wildlife through the spirited kangaroo design. It also reflects the craftsmanship of two prominent designers, Rank Broadley and Stuart Devlin, both of whom left permanent marks on global numismatics. If we trace the circulation patterns of the 1999 $1 coin, we find that it was extensively used across the nation, entering daily lives from simple shop transactions to banking and savings. Yet among collectors, some coins from that year gained special attention for their high-grade condition or for being part of mint sets and commemorative packs. These coins were often preserved in pristine quality and are now valued by collectors. As part of Australia's numismatic timeline, in discussing the coin, we must also place it against the broader tradition of Australian decimal currency, which began in 1966, when the nation shifted from the pound system to dollars and cents. This transition marked a modernization of the Australian economy, and the $1 coin of 1984 was an extension of that progress by 1999. Australians had already embraced the coinage system, but the changes in design, such as the new portrait of the Queen, kept the series fresh and historically anchored to truly appreciate the 1999 Australian $1 coin. We can imagine the countless hands it has passed through, the everyday Australians who used it, the collectors who safeguarded it, the historians who studied it, and the mint workers who crafted it. Each coin carries silent stories of exchange and continuity. In this way, the coin is more than a piece of metal. It is a vessel of memory, identity, and heritage. By understanding its background, we see how a small object can mirror a nation's journey from its wildlife to its monarchy, from its artisans to its economy. The Australian $1 coin of 1999 is therefore not only money, it is art, it is history, and it is Australia itself. And this is why when you look closely at it, you are not just seeing a coin. You are seeing the unfolding story of a nation captured forever in bronze.